Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Boosted Move versus Sharkbait Oohaha. This is game number 2 of the playoffs. This is a full best of 5, and I'm very excited to see how this drafting goes. But regardless, my name is TheSavedOne. I am joined by Stretch. How do you feel after that first game?
I feel like there's some changes that need to be made, my friend. Sharkbait Oohaha put up a performance, and Boosted Move needs to match.
That's it. And you can already see it. Iverband coming out over onto the side of Boosted Move. They were very scared of it last game coming out of Suru's Storm. So they don't want them to have it this game. But oh, there's a new player. Finally, coming into this game itself. Who is it?
No. He's not here, dude.
Not here.
Drazel
started?
No, Drazel's still in the game.
He's still here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming into game number 3.
Oh, the 6-man roster, the NA new standard. Dude, TSM's doing it. We're getting 2 supports. We need someone who's good at ranged and someone who's good at melee as well.
Ooh, maybe a tank player, maybe a mage player.
Ooh.
The possibility is there, but Kha'Zix, Fiora, Poppy, Ivern, all taken away. And to note, Ivern and Poppy were played in the last game. So, basically, Sharkbait wants something to do with it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. Boosted Move wants something to do with it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Boosted Move saw the power of the Poppy Ivern combination coming out of Rhinoceros Rex in the top lane and Suru Storm in the jungle. These guys really made an effective front line, and it made sure that Boosted Move's top laner, Toddy2K on that Renekton, had nothing he could do to the back line because of all the shields, and Poppy was fully protected on the front line because of the shields and heals as well. It really opened up that team comp to work together, so seeing those 2 bands is a good sign that Boosted Move is moving in the right direction.
That's it, dude. If you're moving in the right direction, that's it. That's all you got to do. Just fix up your draft, fix up your in-game is the next that we need to see out of this team. Even just the draft overall. They need to draft the right picks, maybe first pick, even just response to the first pick, which is looking to be that Gragas. We all know Gragas is that very strong champion this patch in the top lane and also in the jungle.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic flex pick. Like you were saying, it can go either the top lane or the jungle, and it offers them to the ability to choose their fights very well. I say this almost every single time I see a Gragas played, that the importance of, or the thing that he offers that's most important is that fight choosing out of that displacement. Explosive Cask can either shove the enemy team away or push a single target into his team comp, and because of that fact, it opens up a lot of different options for the roster outside of just that flexibility of the roles that he can fill. So having this Gragas first pick is beautiful for Sharkbait Oohaha.
Oh, exactly. And I do want to touch on this once again, is like, you don't know if it's going to go in the top lane or if it's going to go in the jungle. So if you want to counterpick top lane when you are on this red side and you're looking at this Gragas, you can't really do that. Ooh, but you were talking about that Fizz. Can it potentially be locked in? And it is going to be locked in. Real question is, though, top lane or mid lane?
Yeah, I'd like to see a mid lane Fizz here. I think that's where it's most effective right now. And the reason that is because I think, what is it, the adaptive helm, something like that. The new AP, or the new magic resist item that lowers damage if it comes lowers AP damage if it comes from the same ability, and that really eats up the damage that comes out of Seastone Trident. So top lane Fizz, if you can get the Ninja Tabby into Spectre's Cowl and finish off the adaptive helm, he doesn't touch you for the rest of the game. So I'd like to see it in the mid lane where it can really roam to the side lanes and set up plays, but we'll see how it goes.
The Xayah hover, could it potentially be locked in? I've seen it a lot, and I want to see it in competitive. I haven't seen it yet. So if this is locked in, I'll be very, very excited. Nothing new coming out from the jungle, though. Lee Sin is locked in over onto the side of Boosted Move. Nothing new, just a very standard jungle pick itself. I would have liked to see something else, but Lee Sin, it's your bread and butter. He's got good clear. He's got everything you really do need. Evelyn as well, locked in for the jungle, and that's a Xayah ADC, man. That's exciting.
Yeah, Xayah is actually a very good response to the team comp that's developing for Boosted Move. That Fizz pickup means that the Fish is not going to be nearly as effective against that champion. In fact, you can completely negate that Fish, whether it attaches to you or not, on the Feathers Fly. So if if the Phoenix 96, with the adequate name, by the way, the great name there for the bird-based champion. So if he can be paying attention to use that Feather Storm in the right way at the right time, he's going to take 0 damage from this Fizz and really be set up for success here. This team comp's developing very well.
Yep. Last night I actually forced myself to learn Xayah's ultimate. It's Feather Storm.
Okay, dude.
So right when the team fight went on and she used her ultimate, I wouldn't have said Feathers Fly.
No.
It's the most weird thing.
You gotta say Feathers Fly one time.
I gotta say it.
Like one time, like in the right.
I'm gonna shout it, dude.
In the right pitch, too.
Feathers Fly.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
My voice can't do it. Dude.
No, dude, you have to. You'd be like, Dragon's Rage comes out, but Feathers Fly, and then the fish misses.
And you go right back.
Yeah,
this,
exactly.
Very high pitch.
Yeah.
This is gonna go into the fight. Feathers Fly.
All right, so chat letting us know, Brother Brando in the chat saying that Evelyn is actually a karma pickup there. They wanted to make sure they grabbed that one away. So we're going to be seeing a reset of champ select before this one finishes out and before we get into the game.
Yeah, but getting right back on into this champion select, Echo, Lucian locked in. Response to that, though, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Veigar.
There it is, dude.
Again, locked in.
Once again, man, that champion just offers so much flexibility. It's like, like you said, if it worked the last time, just do it again. And we're yet to see what they end up throwing against it. It could be the Echo, it could be the Fizz. Both of these guys could swap lanes as they please. But the fact that Toddy2K's got both Ignite and TP suggests that we're looking at a top lane tankish Fizz.
Yep, we were talking about that earlier. Can it go mid lane? Can it go top lane? Then all of a sudden, Tonti2K switches to Teleport and Ignite. So that basically just screams that Fizz will be played in that top lane and will be facing that Gragas at the end of the day. Real question is, what type of build does he go? Does he switch up the build that you usually see on a mid lane Fizz? Does he maybe go for that Bork?
Yeah, he can go for a Bork build, but it's a little bit harder for him, right? Like, Bork's gold cost has been increased. There's a whole bunch of items in the game now that counter that play style of, I'm just going to use this, really high base damage and hit you a lot of times with it. So I think that if Rhinoceros Rex is playing that hard tank style that he was looking for last game when he was on Poppy, he's going to be set up for success fairly easily because Ninja Tabbies exist, Spectre's Cowl exists, into Adaptive Helm, so he shouldn't have that much of a problem as long as things don't go wrong in the early game. That being said, with Lee Sin out of the jungle, if they're able to get a kill on a Toddy2K early on, they can change the entire tone of that lane completely. Because you do need to hit those gold power spikes in your items in order to make that counter build happen. And if you cannot, you are just on the back foot for a very long time. But he does end up falling off in the later stages of the game if you don't go pretty heavily in the AP camp. So we'll see how Toddy2K plays it here, but I expect us to see an on-hit build kind of playing around that Seastone Trident.
Yep. We have a little bit of time before we actually get into the game itself. These guys are just going through the bans very quickly and just pick. These guys just got to get in there. We got to just get into the game itself. Oh, we'll be facing the Nautilus on the top lane, I think. Yeah, it's Nautilus top lane versus the Fizz. But even though I believe Nautilus can just stun the Fizz, but I mean, if Fizz can get in there and dish out enough auto attacks and I guess just press E when the Nautilus presses his ultimate, then I think that's the counter style that he's going for there. But since there is the karma for this team, Sharkbait, since there is a karma for this team, there's a lot of utility itself that's coming out of this team overall.
Yeah, the karma pickup means that you're able to offer a lot of engage and disengage potential. Not only that, but the playstyle that I'm seeing here out of Sharkbait pretty consistently now is, can we get tanks on the front line? And tanks on the front line means that Fizz can't move through the team fight. Lee Sin can't go in for these fancy kickbacks or anything like that, because if there's a Nautilus just there, Gragas just there, you don't want to kick a Gragas into your team. You don't want anything to go wrong with that. So you have to either play it very safe and try to spread the team out through side lane pressure, something that we saw these teams struggle with last game overall, or you have to just be immensely immensely clean on your mechanical play on these engages. So I think that Sharkbait kind of understands their skill set very well, and they play to that and build team comps around that very well. I like this team over. I'm becoming a Sharkbait fan here, man.
Yeah, me too, dude. It's a bronze and silver fan favorite, just so far. Just one game, but their drafting has been very clean. Their pick ban itself, just their in-game and how they close out the game and who exactly they focus. Real question is, though, like you said, what are they going to do once Lee Sin comes? Are they going to have some sort of distraction? And can this Echo get in, get out? Is he going to Jensen it up, or is he just going to work wonders?
Oh, no, not the Jensen, dude. Don't give me that Jensen. It was unfortunate watching that man reach out for that last auto attack, and it didn't go through, and then he just dies through the turret, like, straight up. I'm like, he didn't even press hard, dude. He knew. Come on, man. He's played so many hours of solo queue. He knew that auto attack wasn't coming through, but he wanted it so bad. He wanted Bjergsen to backstep. So why am I going on this? Let's get back to the game at hand. Anyway, hit me with what do you want to know about these teams? I'll tell you anything.
What I want to know, dude, it's what I always want to know. How exactly does Sharkbait win this game? All
right, Sharkbait Oohaha literally needs to play the game and scale up. And they've got the team comp to just make anything happen. Look at the pick potential that these guys have. Veigar is in the front. Someone tries to go aggressive, Event Horizon. Stun lands, they can follow it up with so much CC, it'll make your head spin. You know what? Nautilus lands a hook, same thing. Baby Cage comes out, CC, head spin. Explosive Cask, CC, head spin. These guys have the engage, they've got the disengage, they got so many tools to just choose, pick fights. It's like they've got a catalog. They're like, you know what, page 3? These drapes don't look that good. I'm going to kill this Lee Sin instead. And then that's all they have to do. Just make sure that they got their tanks out there in the front. They're able to smack these guys in the ground, because just having the meat out front, having those big bodies just opens up your damage so much. So I think if these guys just play a standard game of League of Legends, they don't have to do anything special to come away with the victory here.
Yeah, and moving on over to the red side, we got Boosted Move. Now, I'm going to switch up this question a little bit. What wombo combo potential does this team have?
Well, I mean, I think the main thing that we're going to be looking for is fish in. I guess you can look for is some play around the Dragon's Rage and fish combo from Fizz. Not only that, but the parallel convergence to set things up on Echo. I don't think there's too much wombo combo. I guess those two ultimates on Fizz and Lee Sin are what we're going to be looking for mainly. But outside of that, I don't see really too much wombo, unless you had something in mind.
No, I was hoping you had something.
No, dude. I mean, not every team comp has wombo.
There you go. All right. So what does this team need to do to win the game?
They got a hard snowball, dude. I'm going to be fully honest with you, man. If these players fall behind with the current picks that they have, they do not scale into the late game without money under their belt. Fizz needs to be able to get by these tanks in a lot of situations. His fish needs to do significant damage to the body of somebody who's not a backline player. So if he does not have the AP, he does not have the magic penetration that he needs, he's going to be completely ineffective. Lee Sin is on the clock as well. He's got to get clean ganks off in the early game and get these solar laners ahead, otherwise they're going to struggle. The bot lane is where they're shining the brightest. Lucian right now, very strong. Black Cleaver still a very relevant item despite the nerfs. Blade of the Rune King also fantastic for taking out tanks. If he can get that 2-item spike under his belt, he should be fine. But the solo laners really need to be wary of their timing and of their requirement that they have to get these items, otherwise they're going to struggle.
Then we're finally heading on into the game itself. But the one question I do have for you, who won the draft?
Sharkbait.
Why?
Because they built a team comp that makes sense, and they've got a lot of different options of what they can do. They have so many catch options that they can just continually catch people out using the Karma speed up. You've got a Nautilus flying at your face with increased movement speed. It's like, oh no, I have to flash here, or I've got to really outplay this hook. And even then, he doesn't even have to throw the hook. He can just throw down the depth charge, have it follow up. Gragas knocks him back into the team. They synergize very well with the team comp that they have, and their snowballing potential isn't hindered as well. If they start getting ahead, and it's Nautilus who has all the kill money, he just shows up bottom lane with Veigar, they throw down an Event Horizon, Nautilus tanks the turret, they kill whoever's there, and they push through. This team comp is brutal to face against, and it doesn't look like Boosted Move really has the roster or the team comp to face something like this if they don't get ahead very hard in the early game.
Weeks and weeks of preparation these two teams have gone through. They met about 4 or 5 weeks ago. They set up a game plan. They got a coach, and if they didn't have a coach, they played every single scrim. They played every single normal game that they can as 5, and they've tried to, I guess, develop some sort of synergy. This is where it finally comes down to it. If you win this series, you move on to the next round. If you don't, you're going right back on into Ascension eSports' pool. Hopefully you can make it into next season, but this is where it comes down to. It's the bottom line. Sharkbait versus Boosted Move. Game number 2. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, game number 2, boys. Should be pretty clean here. Sharkbait, it's got a hell of a team comp, man. I cannot get up. They got so many good picks in this thing, man.
And maybe it's a caster curse. Maybe this team just absolutely flops.
That could be true, man. We've seen it too many times before. So I think it was NAOQ was probably the last caster curse we put on somebody. I don't remember who it was, but there was some matchup. I was like,
we hyped them up.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way they lose this one, and then they ended up losing
it.
it. Yeah, I was just like, oh, jeez, all right, my bad.
Yep. 2 games in a row. We see that Sharkbait has gone into just enemy territory itself. Tried to look for something, couldn't really find it. Not even a ward itself, just a little bit of information. From Boost and Move on to Sharkbait. Another thing that we see a lot in higher elo plays is the 5-point start. We're not seeing any of that here, but it's a little bit of defensive ward coming down from Boost and Move.
Yeah, it's all about trying to get that early snowball going. It looked like Boost and Move might have gone for a top lane or topside invade, maybe wanted to go for some deep vision or something like that, but they ended up backing up after seeing the enemy team spreading out into something kind of like a 5-point start, like more like a 4-point start, and that 4-point late start is not the same effectiveness because you gave the enemy team time to actually get into the enemy jungle, but it's whatever, man. Like you were saying, these upper level players, they put a lot of priority on setting up the jungler for safety rather than a cheese advantage. So these guys, a little bit of a different mindset.
Yep. And this is the first game where we do get to see a Xayah. We were touching a little bit on it in Champion Select, but finally we get to learn its matchups. We get to learn what it's good against it, what's not good against it. But one thing that I do know about Xayah is that she needs a lot of setup from herself.
The big thing that people are doing right now is they're maxing E. For a while, they're like, nah, max Q. And then they realized, wait, maxing E does so much damage.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So you need to make sure that your positioning is really on point to make that happen, though. If the enemy AD carry sidesteps the pullback of those feathers, you lose a lot of DPS in the trade. So you've got to be non-greedy with how you pull those feathers back, and you have to have the right positioning.
Very nice damage going out in the top lane and in the mid lane. Another thing to note about Xayah, though, is you need to, I guess, set up in the right way, but not waste the feathers that your abilities give you. Because your Q gives you a certain amount of feathers, but if you also press W on top of that, then you're just wasting some. But in the mid lane, maybe a first blood coming down. Not going to happen, though. The last auto attack connected, but it wasn't enough to kill the Echo itself. Yeah.
So the way that Xayah's passive works, just touching on that because you did comment on it, is you can hold a maximum of 5 empowered auto attacks at a time. Each ability that you cast grants you 3. So if you're going to use all of your feathers, you need to make sure that you're auto attacking between, kind of like a Riven, passive type deal. The typical rotation is Q auto. That uses up 1 feather and makes room for a full another 3. Then you W, but mid lane gank.
In the mid lane, Q goes wide from I Love Gangplank. I'm not playing Gangplank this game either. Gangplank jungle would be interesting. But he's playing Lee Sin. He misses the Q, does not connect. But that doesn't mean Veigar had to flash.
Yeah, and getting that summoner does mean some big things. Top lane, gank though, out of Suru.
Towards the top lane. The body slam connects onto Taunty 2G. He does not have flash. We got to remember that. Surasturm may be looking for the first blood here in this game. He drinks his keg. He's got his flash available, but did not flash onto Taunty. He had the corrupting potion stacks going. So this does mean Gragas can help shove the lane. Maybe a back potential coming out here from this Nautilus. Gragas just came into the lane to say, hey, Nautilus, go back to base, maybe. Or he has that one more potion that the Doran's shield does offer him.
Yeah, and the Doran Shield buffs are actually immense. I think that
nice.
a lot of people don't really appreciate how much stronger the new Dorans is. Having an additional potion is like coming to lane with another 150 health. Not only that, but the increased regen that you get when you take damage from an enemy champion, I think it's 20 over 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Every time you proc that, that's 20 life that you get. It doesn't sound like a lot. It sounds like a whatever 20 life, and it's unique.
Yeah.
It's not even that good. But mid lane damage. All right, never mind.
Very nice damage.
But it keeps you in top lane for a long time. In a long, exclusive, like a long secluded lane like that, it keeps you so safe. It's such a good starting item.
And nowadays, I hear from a lot of people, oh, I lived on 2 HP, or oh, I lived, or the enemy lived on 2 HP, they lived on 3 HP. But sometimes, if you actually look at it, it's about 20. It's about 20, it's about 50. So it really does make the difference.
Yeah, having that extra life that you get out of that item or the additional potion is just huge, especially in those clutch situations like you were talking about. But yeah, you need to have that lane stability up in top lane because the early game is such a foothold. You need to make sure that you've got a safe space that you can really last hit. Otherwise, it's very easy for the enemy laner to start snowballing on you and just completely take over control of the lane.
5 minutes into the game, we're starting to look at the jungle farm once again, 13-13. The Krugs, both of these junglers just hate taking Krugs for whatever reason. Gives you 10, take it, somebody. You guys gotta go. It gives you a lot of gold, it gives you a lot of CS overall. It makes you look like a better player. But these guys don't want to go anywhere near just the normal clears. Very safe clears coming out from both of these guys.
I love taking Krugs, man. It makes me feel like I'm doing such a good job. I look at my farm, I'm like, I got 25 farm already. He's only got 10. I'm so good.
It's so much, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. But these junglers, they're just going through the lanes. They're taking whatever camp that they can, trying to practice throughout all of these weeks with their clears. I'm guessing that they got a lot of critique from their coaches. Look, you don't want to take this instead of this because the jungle clear itself, it looks very messy. But we haven't been seeing these junglers all too much in this laning phase. We saw them a couple of times. I believe they blew Veigar's flash there in the early game. We haven't been seeing Lee Sin around Veigar's lane at all, but in the bot lane, a lot of damage coming down. But Xayah does get to prep her E, and she uses it very early, but it does stun 2 people at the end of the day. The ward is in the river, so they do know that Echo is down here, but Gragas is there for that presence support that he usually does offer. You also have to know that Echo is level 6, so he can just chrono break out of there whenever he does need, but he's just going to be going right back into mid lane.
Just taking it slow, looks for that side lane pressure, and that's fantastic as well, because when you're on the Echo and you're facing up against this Veigar, it's still very difficult to kill him. Event Horizon does such a good job of protecting that mid lane that you have to go to these side lanes to look for pressure, but Suru Storm, with that mindful heads-up positioning, making sure that he's in the area just in case something were to go down on that bottom side of the map. And I want to comment on one of the trades I saw between Drazel and the duo of Boosted Move. The Phoenix 96 was full HP and didn't quite commit onto that trade, and I think they could have gotten so much more. I think that not setting the tone that you're ready to kill is very important.
Ooh, a 3-man gang towards his mid lane. Flash is forced out of the Echo, but he stays there in the mid lane. He Jensened it up, and the pre-roll first takes him down. That's first blood for Veigar.
He turned... Wait, alright. I mean, maybe he thought he could... No, I don't know.
No. I'm guessing that he thought right when somebody flashes, it means that the enemy has to back off. But he flashed and then was like, alright, they can't kill me.
Yeah, there's no way they'll dive this turret. Wait, they're just diving the turret.
Wait, they killed me. He just dies. So Lee Sin's there in the mid lane, maybe looking for something in return. He does see that Gragas. Okay, he Q'd, but the flash for Flash is there. Q connects from I Love Gangplank. Can Superstorm get out of this one alive? Answer's going to be no. That's a 1-for-1 trade there in the mid lane.
Yeah, not much you can do about that one. Great angle coming out of I Love Gangplank. Can't quite get him in a position where he can't make it over the wall. Ooh. Oh, no, it's actually happening. Hold on.
Oh, the stun connects.
Wait.
Can he get out of this
Okay,
one?
no. All right. All right, he didn't Jensen. I thought he was going to stay in it too long, walk directly into the Event Horizon, and end up dying because Darkblade was just going to casually stroll out of that one. And then we would have said that he Jensened it. It didn't occur. Everyone put your pitchforks down. It didn't happen.
Go home. There's nothing to see here. But Echo gets out of that one alive. That doesn't mean he does not have his ultimate for that next fight. And we also have to note that Veigar is going to get his ultimate before Echo gets his. So there is that potential to kill him. If that opportunity does come up, this is starting to come to the point where Rift Herald itself is coming up. We have to wait for the 10-minute mark for it to spawn. But once that spawns, it's a contestable buff, but I don't know if someone's going to go for it.
Yeah, Rift Herald coming up is very significant, though. I don't think either of these players are going to, or either of these teams are going to go for it, like you were saying before. If anyone can take it easily, I think it's going to be the duo of Boost or Sharkbait Oohaha, just because they have a lot of shields available on Rhinoceros Rex, and that makes it easy to just, basically tank up that buff, wait for the eye to open, and pop it, because that's the quickest way to take that thing down.
Ping went down onto it, so they know it's there. They know it exists. They also know it's a very strong buff. Put it on the right person. Q misses from Lee Sin. He's looking for any opportunity that he can. He's not really finding it right now, but he is 1-0-0, so he does have 1 kill over that Gragas. So he's looking kind of strong, but one thing that Lee Sin's need to do is transition that lead into something else.
Yeah, he's on the clock. He really needs to extend this 1 kill over the rest of the map and make sure the rest of his laners get ahead. Toddy 2K going aggressive, but he's doing literally negative damage.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. It's kicking in.
He's got his Stinger. He's got the Sheen. It's a lot of damage coming out from him. Basically just chunks that Nautilus down to very low HP. But in the mid lane, Darkblade, Wolf. Oh, but the Q connects into the top lane. And the kick very easily connects. But in the mid lane, the stun connects onto 2 people. Dane G. Maybe trying looking to get out of this one alive. Presses E, and the cask says, or he basically just says thank you off of that cask. So he's surviving right now. But Gragas did ping the Rift Herald earlier. They're maybe looking for it.
Yeah, they might end up going for this one right here. Sewer Storm clearing out that Scuttle Crab, trying to get a little bit of vision, but he's got no mana. He's actually considering giving up. He's like, this is taking quite a long time. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Yeah. He's really trying to reconsider it. But either way, they can go for this Rift Herald buff. I think it might be a little bit too early for it. Talking about Rift Herald and the strategy around it real quick, actually, bottom lane fight.
Ooh, that's a very nice damage coming out of that E, and just absolutely pops Chino Sensei. That was beautiful Xayah play right there. She didn't even have to use the ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, she might have been able to pick up a second kill on the Brent, or at least force a summoner had she used it to dodge out that stun there. But either way, getting the kill on Chino Sensei straight away opens up this bottom side for a potential dragon take, and as a result, Dangi, Dangi is running down, trying to get vision on it and making sure they don't just take it for free.
4 people surrounding this Wind Dragon for the time being of Shark Bait. They definitely want to get this, which does mean better rotation for this team overall. They're going to get an easy dragon. It also looks like Lee Sin's maybe coming for a little bit of congestion. Echo's also making his way down from the mid lane. We also do have to know, and he just walks in, smites it, and he gets rooted right now. He kicks one person into a couple, and this is a team fight, ladies and gentlemen. We do have to watch the Xayah, though. What's she going to do? But the Echo, she presses that ultimate. The feather fly comes down from the sky. And she's looking for a lot of damage. The feathers are being set up. The explosive cask is coming out of the Gragas. And this red team is maybe looking for a play to come back into this game. And this is it. A double kill for the Echo. He flashes over the wall. This is so hype. But it looks like the rest of the team is just going to go back mid lane.
He's like, she's not gone yet. I can catch up. I'll tumble directly from the back of the dragon pit into red buff. I'm like, I don't know if tumble goes that far, my man. I don't know,
man. A little bit ambitious coming from you, buddy.
Yeah, but either way, great job actually there from Boosted Move, picking up that not only the Drake steal, but the subsequent team fight that follows. First turret as well. They get a huge advantage off of that play. I love Gangplank setting up his team for success here.
Okay, he gets. Or there was a lot of stuns coming out from the Echo there in that fight, but I love Gangplank, like you were saying. He used that Dragon's Rage perfectly. He sniped one person and kicked 2. It was beautiful overall.
Yep, really making sure that not only getting in there with the aggression, like you were saying, but I think that boosted move is in the perfect position right now. I was talking about how they need to get significantly ahead in the early game to come out the victor here, and with that play, that string of occurrences here,
right?
They are in that position. They just need to make the right move, send their bot lane, top lane, swap Fizz to bot lane.
That's it.
And then just take that turret, but they're sending their duo to the bottom side of the map. I guess they're not going to go for that lane swap, and instead they're just going to use their 2-man to defend that tower. Toddy would not be able to defend that turret very well, but he could at least delay and allow them to poke down Rhinoceros Rex. I guess they're just going to go back to the 2v2 and hope to continue to snowball a bit.
And all of the boosted move fans in the chat right now, they all have one thing on their mind: don't throw. They have a lead. They have a 4K lead here at 14 minutes in the game. Basically, all they need to do is just not throw it and play to their advantages. We see in the top lane, Fizz over and over again has been going in. He's applying a lot of damage over time. He misses Chum the Waters, but gets hooked right back into the tower. Doesn't really mean too much, but Gragas as well is making his way to the top lane.
And the reason why this fight is continually going in Toddy 2K's direction, mid lane gank.
Ooh, I love Gangplank. He lands the Dragon's Rage, but does not land the Q itself. Darkblade Wolf is going right back into the Lee Sin and gets a 1-for-1 trade, but Karma picks up one. Presses Chrono Break there at the top side of the map, gets rooted up. Dangy may be looking for an escape, but maybe even the re-engage at this point. Bork gets activated, but stops himself in his tracks. The flash is popped from the Karma there herself. But Nautilus is there for that threat potential. Flashes over the wall, but Taunty 2K is now back in the fight. Depth charges launched there onto Taunty himself. Gets rooted up, but just walks out of the fight.
Yeah, aggressive play coming out of the mid laners here on both sides. Darkblade Wolf is able to get a return kill, or actually pass one over to Drazel with some assistance, but Dangy really going hard in the paint there. I love Gangplank trying to get the 2v1 on that mid lane. They botched the kick into Q just a little bit there, so they don't get a clean kill, but really just showing the power of mobility there out of these characters. I do want to say this: Toddy 2K is already starting to become ineffective against this Nautilus in team fights, and he needs to find a different way to increase his threat in these team fights. Because if he does not, he's going to be completely irrelevant, and Rhinoceros Rex is going to keep peeling him off there. So he's got to find flank positionings. He's got to talk to his team, get this vision down on the sides. Otherwise, he's going to have a hard time.
And we've been talking about it over and over again. Rotational play coming out from this team with this Wind Dragon. We're starting to see it here. The Bren maybe getting caught out here. There's a little bit too much in the enemy jungle. Dressel has now come. He stuns up Brent. Flash over the wall and Primordial Burst. Just absolutely bursts the Taric himself. Didn't even want to pop his ultimate. He also had exhaust. Didn't want to use it either. But off of that one kill, the rest of his team get the Rift Herald. I do want to see where they use it, because they've gotten the tier 1 top, mid, and bot. Where exactly are they going to use it now?
I think because they've got it on Toddy 2K and TP is available, they want to use it up in that lane. Toddy has to be very patient with it, though. He can't just throw it down. He's got to chunk out Nautilus before he can throw down that Rift Herald. Otherwise, it opens up too much of a window for the enemy team to regroup and take it out. The one thing I will say about this Rift Herald in lane is if you hit the eye, it will lose 20% life. Like,
right.
It dies extremely quickly if you hit the eye while it's trying to push down a turret, because it just hurts itself while it's attacking the tower, and hitting the eye loses a bunch of life. And by the time it's down, like on half of its HP, it's much less effective than full. So if these guys can react even slightly to the placement of that thing, they should be able to handle it fairly easily, which is why Toddy's got to chunk down Rhinoceros Rex and get him out of that lane before he uses it.
It deals a lot of damage initially to the tower, but you can very easily take it down once it's hitting the tower itself. Like you were saying, it does damage to itself plus more. Now you see the rest of this red team are going into the enemy jungle. Maybe looking to contest this blue buff itself.
No, not yet.
Red buff itself. But Rift Herald has spawned there in the top lane. Let's see exactly what it can do. Toddy 2K is smashing down Rhinoceros Rex however he can. There's the initial damage onto the tower, but the rest of the team has come. You can say it's a very weird trade, like you're sighing. I know you want to say something,
Yeah.
Let's say it, buddy.
He could have done the exact same thing without putting down the Rift Herald and saved it for later, but you know, you can just throw it down immediately, I guess. It's whatever. No, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, you got Infernal. You got Infernal, I guess it's worth. You know, he drew some aggro.
All they did was trade Infernal for 3 people top lane.
Yeah,
But
it's whatever. That's fine. No, it's fine. I'm not disappointed. No, it's...
But Infernal, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? Last game we saw that... Oh, maybe a dive coming out. The exhaust or the ignite went down. Can they follow it up with a kill? And yes, he does. That's a kill for Toddy2K there in the top lane. We've seen over and over again him take Rhinoceros Rex low very over and over again. Very frequently. And finally he gets a kill.
Chad asking if the Rift Herald was near its timer. I think it still had 2 minutes left on it. Because the only thing he did after picking it up was base and then run down the lane. Like, he hadn't done that much.
Right.
So,
now, it's 20 minutes in the game. This is surrender time. We gotta
wait. You challenge someone should surrender? This is a very close game.
No. This is surrender time. Let me finish.
Okay.
It's surrender time. What exactly does Sharkbait do in order to get back in this game? Because currently they're 5k behind.
Yeah.
It went from 4k to 5k. So there is some progression coming out of boost and move. But what does Sharkbait do at this point? What exactly are they looking for?
All right, I'm going to tell you what they need to do. Play standard League of Legends. Because the bottom line is even though they're 5k behind, their tanks scale very well into the late game defensively, whereas the Lee Sin and the AD Fizz do not scale very well into the late game in terms of their damage and the amount of peel that they offer to their team. So if Suru Storm and Rhinoceros Rex are allowed to continue to get last hits with no hindrances, and they don't botch plays like they did around that dragon fight, that's the reason why they're so far behind, is they lost the dragon, they lost 2 turrets immediately after the play, and like 4 kills in the pit. It was horrendous for them. Not saying that they played that poorly, but it just went the other way, unluckily. But if they just play standard League of Legends here, the team comp's already doing what they needed to do. It's all on boosted move to close out this game quickly before their time runs out.
I love Gangplank is here in the top lane. He's maybe looking for another kill onto this Nautilus. If he can output enough damage onto the Nautilus himself, maybe he can find something. Flash over the wall is that Nautilus. But another thing that I do want to touch on is 5 of the deaths that are currently on this red team are on tanks. So like you were saying, they could scale if given that opportunity. But Nautilus is finding himself in the wrong situation. He's in the enemy jungle. That's just a 4v1. He's just dead. Unstoppable is that Echo. Ooh, Toddy2K is now in the mid lane. He launched Chum the Waters. He's finally in the middle of 4 people. The Taric did flash in, and Toddy2K finds one. The culling is coming out. It lands onto a couple of people. Even that ultimate coming out from Taric is very, very nice. But Redemption comes down from the sky finally. But the rest of this red team, the rest of Boosted Move is looking for something. They're looking for maybe a Baron even. The jungler's down, the main tank's down. Can they be looking for the Baron?
I think they can here. They've got enough sustain through their Taric that they can actually heal themselves up here and be perfectly fine. Taric, don't go for the fruits. You don't need it. Just hit the Baron. Contribute to the damage. Buddy? You've got a heal that you can reset on your auto attacks. It's actually super effective. But either way, I think that these guys should have no problems whatsoever taking this Baron down. And not only that, they don't have to fully commit like they're doing right now.
A lot of AoE damage, but it doesn't even matter. Toddy2K finds one. He's maybe looking for a second one, but the E is coming out from the Xayah. Maybe she can turn around this fight, but she gets stunned up as well as her support. I love Gangplank. He finds 1 kill as well as that Echo. And 2 for 0 so far. And the rest of Boosted Move are saying, you know what, we found 2, we found 3. Let's just back right up. But they're maybe looking for 1 more here onto this Nautilus. Not going to find it, though. But a 3 for 0. Over onto the favorite Boosted Move.
To be fair, I think they could have, despite the low health bars, I think they could have gone back to Baron because the amount of healing that Taric can do AoE while he's getting continuous auto attacks in is actually really large. They could have potentially gone for it, but I respect the cautious play, not wanting to give anything to the enemy team and just backing off and resetting.
You also have to remember that Sewer Storm was up by the end of that, fight. and he also had his ultimate available. So what he could have done was, I guess, gotten into the bit type of thing, scattered people with it, and maybe gone in for a steal. But it sounds like a very ambitious style situation, but it's very possible.
Yep, could definitely happen, and these guys making sure that it is not an option here. So,
Right.
Like you were saying, they need to back up, take that safe move. The thing that I'm worried about right now is that boosted move needs to start looking for those sorts of riskier plays at the moment because of how ineffective this Fizz is going to be going into later stages. He doesn't have a Blade of the Ruined King. Mid lane fight.
Ooh, Chino Sensei may be getting caught out here. Primordial Burst comes down, as well as that explosive cask. He's done. That's it. Sewer Storm picks himself up one. That's maybe exactly what they were looking for. Maybe that type of pick onto a carry like that is exactly what they needed.
Yeah, and honestly, they can continue doing that over and over again because of the amount of CC options that they have to create these picks and make those plays occur. So if they just stay as these little skirmish groups that still have CC in them, they can continually rotate and pick people off.
A fight here in this bottom lane. Nothing too much is happening though, but I spoke way too soon. Nautilus makes his way down to the bottom lane. Depth charge is down onto that Fizz, but Fizz is looking for that re-engage potential. Chum the Waters connects onto one, as well as that body slam, but not enough damage is coming down right now. Lee Sin cues right into the wall, and Darkblade Wolf, he finds himself one kill, as well as that Featherstorm. Presses that E, and a lot of damage is coming down from the Xayah. All she really needs to do is auto-attack in this fight, but she goes way too far in. Toddy 2K finds one, finds two. He's looking for a third kill onto Rhinoceros Rex. He presses E and presses E once again, slowing two of these enemies. He finds a triple kill. Oh, baby, a triple, and maybe even a dragon for his troubles.
Yeah, well played there by the squad of Boosted Move. Just getting in there, being resilient with the fight. For a long time, it looked like they weren't going to be able to cut through the thick hide of Rhinoceros Rex and Suru Storm, but they eventually make their way through because of a little bit of mispositioning by the Phoenix 96, like you were saying, during the cast there. Got a little bit too close to the fire and ended up getting burned.
Right. And I believe that's one thing with Xayah that you really, I guess, just don't want to do. You don't want to get up into that fight. You just want to have your feathers already placed. And then once you press E, you stun a couple of people so that the rest of your team can finally go in and just clean up. Thing is, though, what, I guess, AoE damage does this team have? They're really just, I guess, relying on this Xayah to deal a lot of damage. It's not showing, though.
Sorry, say that again?
They're relying on Xayah to deal a lot of damage, but it's not really showing.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, Xayah just isn't in a comfortable position where she's able to keep these auto attacks down, which is weird, right? Because they've got such a CC-heavy front line and the Karma on the back line to keep her healthy. Right. So I think that it's on these frontline takes to make sure that they're in the right place at the right time, CCing the right people to make sure that Xayah is protected. Because just like the backline wants to hit who's closest to them, the tanks want to CC who's closest to them as well.
Right.
You want to make sure that you keep your backline safe so they continually are able to do maximum damage.
Yeah. Another thing I do want to touch on here is that even though you sign up for this league to, I guess, work on mechanics and work on team decisions, you also want to work on team communication overall. Because what I just saw there was like a missing ping coming out of this blue team, and I'm guessing that was just kind of like a "what are you doing" type of ping. So I think it's a little bit of BM, but it's also who just can communicate towards the team and just say, hey, don't get too tilted. It's only game number 2. So we have a lot of time left to improve.
Yep, definitely do. And honestly, either team can easily take this one home. A couple of misplays have been thrown down in the game. We've seen Boosted Move do a good job of capitalizing on those. And right now, with Fizz up in the top lane, these guys need to get a fight, dude. You got so many options here. Get in there. Go! Yeah, what are you waiting for, dude? Wait!
You guys are squaring up. The cage
Hold
hits
on.
one.
Yeah, well, get in there. Wait, tank, come back. Get out front. What's going on?
Gregus is in the back line right now. He's basically in the engage. He just flash, presses E, and then the cask. Let's go, boys!
Well, let's go, man. You built all these tank items for why? Oh, wait, that's not... Oh, wait, that's not Cinderhulk. Wait, that's Runic Echoes.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's questionable.
well, I mean that's fine. That's standard, but their Nautilus needs to be more ballsy here. They could have taken advantage of Fizz up at the top lane, but instead Boosted Mood gets a free turret, which only snowballs them more.
Oh my goodness, Featherstorm towards the bot lane, and Toddy 2K is maybe looking for something, but could not. The invulnerability that Featherstorm gives her is just way too much for Fizz to deal with, apparently. So he goes in, doesn't really get anything for his troubles, but is maybe looking for something here. He gets collapsed on by a couple of people. He gets rooted up, and the Primordial Burst is enough. The hook lands onto one. I love Gangplank, but knocks up two people. The cask lands, but the W from Echo lands onto a couple of people. Zaya needs to get in this.
Go.
Do something. Let's do something, baby. She gets one. She's maybe looking for a couple of more, but Veigar is slowly making his way towards the two carries
Chrono
here.
Break?
Maybe this is the only thing that they could have been looking for. Exactly, the Chrono Break. The Shadow was there. He probably would have gotten one. The W lands there onto the red buff. The thought is there from the Echo. He wants to try and assassinate somebody here. And the potential could be coming out here. He presses his ultimate, but finds himself in a very sticky situation. The shutdown comes down from the Zaya. 3 are dead over on the red side. Boosted move. This could have been the bad move that they have done.
Yeah, they're really in a tough situation right now. They've lost that heavy lead that they had before. I think that the theme that I've seen, even when we're casting OQ, is once you get a good team fight on a CC heavy comp and you realize, wait, we can just go on them. Then, it continually comes through over and over again. So these guys, we might be seeing a little bit more aggressive play out of these frontline players from here on out, and that's going to be tough for Boosted Move to deal with. Once Sharkbait Oohaha gets aggressive and is able to peel for this Zaya, they're going to continually get reliable damage out of their backline.
30 minutes into the game, 17 kills to 9. Currently a 5k lead. Going over onto the side of Boost and Move, they've been trying to aggress and just try and do whatever they can in order to close this game out. They've taken 5 towers compared to the 1 that Sharkbait does have. They're just looking for their next move here. It looks like they continue to go mid lane over and over and over and over again, but is that really the answer?
No, they need to put more side lane pressure here if they're going to close this game out, and I think they need to play around Toddy 2K. I mean, they keep focusing on mid lane, but open up the door for Toddy to get the split push down the bot lane like he's doing right now, and play around that teleport cooldown. He can still 1v1 the Nautilus at this stage, especially with that Wit's End to shred through some of that magic resist. So if they really put the pressure in and force the positioning on the Baron out of the rest of Sharkbait Oohaha, they can definitely close this game out. But with them fading down towards this bottom side, it looks like they want to contest this next dragon instead of using this dragon as something they can additionally maybe leverage by going to the Baron.
This next dragon is that Infernal, so it is that one dragon that both teams do want to get. It gives each team extra damage. We've been seeing this whole entire game that Boosted Move has been on top of these dragons. They have 1 Infernal, 1 Wind, 1 Mountain. Another Infernal would make it double the damage. It's a very nice dragon to get if you can get it. But the rest of Sharkbait are basically saying, no, you cannot get this dragon. We want to contest it, and we want to try and fight for it.
Yep, all right. Looks like they're actually pulling it straight away. Tanks out front. And it looks like, no, they're splitting up. No, follow your Nautilus. All right, there's no way they contest. They're not going to contest this one. It's already done.
Dragon has been slain, and the 2 Infernals have gone down. The E does not connect, but the double stun is there. Can this team do anything off of that? The Zaya gets the root and very easily just absolutely deletes the Taric. Death charge is coming down, as well as the Primordial Burst. He can't even do anything. This is maybe the fight that these guys are looking for. And Chino Sensei is falling very low. The explosive cask lands onto him, and the flash Q, Mantra Q, I would want to say, from that Karma does come out. This is the exact fight that Sharkbait is looking for. The hook goes wide and does not connect onto that Lee Sin. But this is the time. What Sharkbait? What exactly do you guys do? Do you guys want to get a tower? Do you guys want to go into the enemy jungle and just take a couple of camps? What is it?
Yeah, they're spreading out and running away from this Lee Sin, but there's a turret right there. They could have easily grouped on that thing and taken it down. You lose a lot of time when you make map movements, and you have to calculate that in terms of the amount of worth that's available. It looks like we have a dive mid lane.
Stun goes down onto the Echo, but the Q lands in a 1-for-1 trade there in the mid lane. The E does not stun up that Gragas, but the body slam does. That Lee Sin is done for the time being. Tarek maybe lagging a little bit too much. But it was very weird to see the mindset that Sharkbait actually had there. Is that they probably could have gotten 2 towers in the bottom lane, but they rotated right into the mid lane. They want to get that tier 2 there. The exhaust goes down onto the Phoenix 96. But can they get out of this situation? Featherstorm comes down, or comes through. But Nautilus TP's right on into that fight, trying to, I guess, just stun anybody that he can, but the turn potential is real. Chino Sensei finds one, and the stun does go down onto the Xayah. The flash shield comes out from her, as well as that E does not connect onto anybody. Taunty 2K is looking for a lot of damage, as well as Chino Sensei. Can they try and kite this out as best as possible?
Wow.
And the answer is going to be no. That's a lot of damage coming out from Toddy. But he's looking for maybe just some wave clear. Is not really too much. What? The TP in the bot lane? Whew. At the end of that fight, though, a lot happened. That was a lot.
Yeah, I was actually really impressed by the Phoenix 96 three-man snare on that retreat. Not quite able to close that one out, as Toddy just he's pretty resilient right now. I know you want to get the magic resist, but maybe just get the armor pen. Make sure that your crits are actually critting.
Right.
But either way, yeah, right now, Toddy 2K has continued to be effective in this game despite my predictions here. I thought that he was going to fall off at some point, but this man has continued to stay effective throughout the entirety of the match and will not go down easy. He's a diehard fish, and with that, he's able to keep in these fights and set his team up. Not only that, but I love Gangplank. Despite him starting to get a little bit less damage in these team fights, he's continuing to try to set up his team.
Xayah's maybe looking for a return kill, saying, get off my turret. But the flash away from the Tarek means that she cannot find a kill for herself. So it's a free tower going over onto the side of boost and move. But all game, it took them 35 minutes to take down all 6 outer towers. Finally, they need to crack open the base somehow. They need to find the picks in order to do that.
Yeah, I think... Ooh, wow. All right, Event Horizon denying that jump in.
Yep, a little bit of damage going down onto Lee Sin there. Also a little bit of miscommunication. It doesn't even matter though. The Zanyas comes out from Veigar as well as that shield. Can he stay alive at the end of the fight? Shields upon shield, and he's slowly staying alive, but it doesn't even matter. The E is, and the E again, the root down onto that Fizz himself. Xayah's trying to do whatever she can in order to escape the Fizz's grasp, and she's finally done it. Echo's making his way into the fight, and the 3-man stun coming out from him. Absolutely beautiful. They just want to try and take out these tanks with ease. A hook onto the wall does connect. Can they finally take out the Nautilus? And the answer is yes. Maybe they can try and find the same thing onto the Gragas himself. But the wave is not there, but it is there in that top lane. 3 members, the 3 main carries of this red team, Boost and Move. They're making their way into this top lane. They're trying to get something off of this. Almost ace, but not really.
Yep, 2 members of Sharkbait still alive here, and they want to hold on to as much of this base as possible. We see the Phoenix 96 struggling to keep this Fizz away from him as Toddy 2K smells blood in the water and immediately is chasing after the kills every single time. Feathers are flying, but not from the ultimate, but from the death of this backline 80 carry. The Phoenix 96 really needs some additional peeling here, or some magic or armor penetration to cut through this the scales of the Fizz, man. This Sunfire cape is doing so much work for him.
Oh, Echo didn't press R.
Jensen.
Feels bad. Jensen it up, people. The Baron hit him too hard. Smack in the face. It blinded him a little bit too much. Could this potentially be the Baron throw as this team was looking for? A lot of damage going down onto this blue team. Shield upon shield for themselves as well. Chino Sensei finding himself too far in the fight, and the smite comes down, and now the Baron went on over to the blue team. Sharkbait, this could be your ticket back into the game, and the Baron could have been it.
Yeah, Baron taking Baron kill for them is huge, but the thing that is potentially even bigger is Baron plus the Elder Drake that's coming up in 15 seconds here. Right. If these guys pick that up as well, they can probably... Wait, what's this?
Playful Trickster. Out of that fight.
That's a good move.
Go. Rooted down is Toddy. He gets stunned, shield knocked around, all around. over and over again. He's been tried to, they tried to take him down. They didn't though. Chrono break out of that fight. He did have it for that fight, thank God. But the blue team walks on into the enemy base. They get the inhibitor. Now they have sights on the Elder Dragon.
Yeah, Sharkbait, huge win off that Baron interrupt into steal, and now they're going to take the pressure that they've gained in the mid lane, try to extend it to an Elder Dragon, but the rest of Boosted Move is ready, and they are on the hunt. Suru Storm recalling.
Oh, no.
Are they going to give this up? This is a 4-man Elder. I don't know if he can afford to walk away from it.
Rhinoceros Rex just in the wrong position, wrong place, wrong time. He did not find himself in the right situation, but this whole entire game lands on this Elder Dragon steal. If Gragas can get in there and steal it, the hope is still alive. If this red team takes this dragon, the game is almost over because you just run down mid and you kill whoever you need to kill. Can Gragas take this Baron? Both smites are up. Can he get in there? He gets in and he gets it! As well as that 4-man root. There you go, Suru Storm putting his team on his back. It doesn't even matter that his Nautilus died. But he gets into that pit. He's dealing the damage, and there you go. He's trying to carry his team. They're not out of this game just yet.
Dude, trying. He's doing it, man. That steal was immaculate. And with that, they're able to continue the pressure to the bottom side. But no, they turn.
Can he use Feathers Fly? And he uses it, roots up 2 people. And a double kill for the Xayah there in that bot lane. That was awesome.
Wow. And this is why pro players are like, Xayah's too good. Her ultimate is too strong. Is because you can get a meal like that, create space, and then open up the window for you to get the most important thing down for an AD carry, auto attacks. So with that play, the Phoenix 96 spreads his wings, takes flight, and sets up his team to start closing out this game even more quickly.
Into the top lane, Toddy2K is looking for another kill onto Rhinoceros Rex. He's way too tanky at this point of the game, but Fizz is shredding him down with any opportunity that he can. Gragas is finding himself in the enemy base, basically just saying, team, let's go. I want to get in there. I want to close out this game. He's trying to kill any of the minions that he can and even just body slam onto somebody at this point. Nexus Tower #1 falls. Could this be the end, making it the 2-0 for Sharkbait? Nexus turret #1 falls. Toddy2K is trying to find himself into the fight. There's way too many minions and Lee Sin falls. Nexus tower #2 is done. Airborne is that Lee Sin, and then the double kill for the Gragas. And the Nexus finally gets destroyed as Sharkbait takes the series 2-0.
A roller coaster of emotion here for us viewers, for us casters. I thought for sure, I was like, wait, I didn't think that they had the team comp to walk away from this one. And then Boosted Move was just not looking that strong. Then they get that immaculate play around that first or second dragon with the 4 kills, 2 turrets, and a lot of a gold lead coming out of that as well. And they continue to hold on to that lead for so long. And then the Baron fight happens. Sharkbait Oohaha is able to get in. They take the Baron away. They walk away with more kills. Walk it down mid lane. Inner turret goes down. Inhibitor turret as well as inhibitor. Step it back. Get the steal on the Infernal or on the Elder Drake, and then continue walking it forward. Great job by Sharkbait Oohaha keeping their heads level and keeping their minds in this game, because a lot of players I know would have just been like, "There's no way, dude. We got to F up. We're behind." Man, if we're behind, we lose. That's just how this game operates. But
Durstorm says, no way, Jose, and gets on into the pin, steals it.
The beautiful steal on that Gragas, man. Slides right in with the belly, bops it with the smite. I love it.
Boom. Bing, bop, boop. That was crazy. Oh, that game's over. Game #2 is done. The real question is, I have for you viewers, it's obviously rhetorical, but can Boosted Move come back and reverse sweep? Can they pull a fly quest? Or can Sharkbait close this out with a 3-0? We're gonna have to see after this little bit, but I'm being invited to the custom, so we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere. We got game #3 of Sharkbait versus Boosted Move coming up in a couple of seconds. Stay tuned.